I think most women would say that we weigh ourselves butt ass naked first thing in the morning. You're just raw sitting on the wax paper with your little napkin on top of you. So that's how you're sitting waiting for the doctor to come in. And I'm supposed to be able to remember anything that I thought I needed to talk about during this visit and have a real conversation about the most awkward parts of my life in my naked napkin wear. There's this new thing where they have a multi-tiered waiting system. Well, this morning we have one of what I hope to be an ongoing series called Kayla Reacts, in which I reveal something absurd on a rant that I've been percolating upon, and well, Kayla can tell me if I'm being ridiculous or not.
I can't wait to hear this.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off by basically just saying that I want to acknowledge that OBGYN annual appointments are a necessary evil, and it's the best we have right now. So I'm not trying to discourage people from going, but I would like to point out my experience / the absurdities of this whole situation. And for men that are listening who are like, I don't think that this applies to me. If you're a straight man, it definitely applies to you because you're going to end up hopefully with a woman at some point. Unless you're chatting with the AI robots that Meta has now provided, which I find very disturbing.
Bad idea.
Doesn't feel like a good idea. But anyhow, I guess if you're a man and you date men, maybe this doesn't apply to you. But whatever, you have female friends, okay? So just shut up. It's going to help you be more empathetic. Number 1. Okay, there's this new thing where they have a multi-tiered waiting room system. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's really cool. You go in and you check in, and then you sit down in the main waiting room, and then you wait to get called back. And then they call you back, and they take your blood pressure, and they weigh you. Now, please keep in mind that they're weighing you in sort of an open area in the hallway, and your shoes and all of your clothes are on. Which, for the record, I think most women would say that we weigh ourselves butt ass naked first thing in the morning after 100%. A poop, hopefully.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So demoralizing to now have weighed myself with my full clothes and shoes. Not helpful. Also, it's late in the day, so I've eaten numerous times. Unpleasant. So once we weigh and blood pressure, now they've seated me in the second waiting room. Do you know about this?
Mm-mm. Normally it's just the room where you wait. Oh my God.
No. Now we wait again in the second waiting room with the other people who are in the second waiting room. Like you got past the first troll under the bridge. You answered his riddles 3, but wait, there's more. Then you get called back. Now, in my personal experience, my name is Kaylee. The lady called out a Haley, and I stood up because it rhymed, and, you're trying to pay attention. And she goes, no, this can't be you because you are definitely not pregnant enough. She had her little chart. And me, nope, no filter, sat down and said, nope, not pregnant at all. That's the goal. In front of all the other women in the second waiting room. So we sit and wait for the second troll to call me back to the actual exam room where, you guessed it, we wait again.
That's the part that pisses me off. Fucking
so we have to
off.
Wait, enter, wait, enter, wait. Okay? When you've been done waiting, why is there not a sign when you walk into the exam room that just says get undressed? Because that's all that you're going to do. I literally was in the exam room waiting for some other LPN to walk in and say, there's your little outfit. The doctor will be here shortly.
I didn't wait again.
We wait again. We could have skipped that step. I know what I'm here for.
Or when they call you back, Kaylee, just tell you in the room. Like, tell you as you walk in the room.
Yeah. Not to wait till we wait again. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the standard operating procedure is that they give you this like wax napkin top that opens in the front and a little like wax napkin cover that you lay across your waist. And you're sitting atop
the wax paper that you sit on top of that go.
You're sitting atop the wax. 1000%. You are sitting on top of a wax paper, exam room table. Anytime you breathe, it crinkles and crunches. And also, please remember that for your bottom half, you're just raw sitting on the wax paper with your little napkin on top of you. So that's how you're sitting, waiting for the doctor to come in. Basically, your anatomy is just gripping the table. You can't get around it. Which brings me to a side quest. Do you know mollusks, like the genus of animals, a mollusk?
Mm-mm.
It basically includes like mussels, clams, snails.
Okay. Yeah, gross.
Basically, like anything that's a labial reference of an animal is a mollusk, which is appropriate, I learned, because our shelled friends, the mollusks, they have this thing called a foot. and they can use it to like dig around and crawl around. There's a shell and then they have a little foot, right? This foot can make something called, wait, I had to write it down. Byssal, Byssal, Byssal
Okay.
threads. So they grow those and that's what attaches them to the rock. It's also called a beard. I thought that was I just needed to explain that to you. Okay. So while I'm sitting in the exam room, I have time to be thinking these things over, which is really not a good thing. But these are the other absurdities that I figured out while I was sitting there mollusked to the exam room table, except my Byssal threads aren't bearded, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm about to have a serious conversation with my medical provider about my medical concerns while I'm dressed in the equivalent of a disposable tablecloth.
Mm-hmm.
And while I can actively feel my undercarriage like attaching to this wax paper, and I'm wondering when I stand up, is some of it going to come with me?
Oh, 100%.
So this is the scene. So now I'm supposed to have a physician come in, and I'm supposed to be able to remember anything that I thought I needed to talk about during this visit and have a real conversation about the most awkward parts of my life in my naked napkin wear.
Yeah, you're so vulnerable.
Who thought that that was a good idea? I am seated slightly higher than the physician is in her chair, but it's not enough to compensate for the power differential between clothed in paper and clothed in clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make up for it. Next. During the manual breast exam, the doctor looks away, like excessively, like this.
Shame.
Looking up to the far corner as if talking to God, knowing full well in moments you're going to be looking into my inner eye. I mean, how are we pretending to be discreet at this point?
I feel like because it's so close to your face, it's like they don't. But when you're down there, it's like...
And then it's... You guys think, men, you think that it's weird when you go to the dentist and the hygienist is talking to you while their fingers are in your mouth? Try having a conversation while someone's fondling you.
I hate
What did
it.
you do this weekend? I don't fucking care. Just tell me if something feels weird or not. Moving on. So then they do the pelvic exam, where they actually go into the Cave of Wonders and make sure everything looks like it's still there. I have a proposal. I've never seen that part of me. Could we, like, do you think we could project it? We could project it on a screen.
That would be interesting.
Because I don't think it's very fair.
Like an ultrasound?
Yeah, you get to see what's going on in there, but it's fucking mine. And I want to know. What are we looking at? Okay, just insurance companies, if you could figure out a way to reimburse for that, it would be cool. Okay, so if it already wasn't absurd enough at the beginning of this visit to try to have a conversation about something uncomfortable that's happening, now we're revisiting the are you sure there's nothing you want to talk about while I'm still Byssal threaded to my seat. And now you've seen into the, like, what is it? The Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've, like, gone into the unknown. Touched my titties, and now we're gonna have a conversation about, like, I don't know, if I have dryness concern. I don't know. The whole thing is just ridiculous. And God bless my OBGYN, because it's not her fault. The system was created by insurance companies many moons before she got into this practice. But it's just an absolutely absurd concept that I'm going to now sit here and have this conversation with you. Mind you, when I walked into the building, there's a big sign on the front window that said exams are for addressing annual exam topics. If one or more specific concerns are discussed, you will be billed separately for a, quote, specialized visit.
It did not.
It did. So one's left to wonder, does my insurance company reimburse for both? Do I have a copay for a specialized visit versus an annual exam? How long is a specialized visit? Is it like time incremented if we go over 15 minutes? But what if I talk slow? Or what if she's typing notes? And what if she types slow? How are we deciding
What if you just ask
this?
one more question than the allotted question?
Oh, how many questions are allotted? What's specialized? How many problems am I allowed to have? What if it's like one problem and then there's like subcategories? Is each subcategory its own problem? How are we billing this?
That is fucked. I don't like that at all.
Me either.
It's a big qualm.
It's a big qualm. Here's another fun insurance fact for you guys. If your mother or sister had breast cancer, you should start being screened per the insurance guidelines 10 years before their diagnosis, or age 40, if that makes sense. So if your mom had breast cancer at 35, then you should get your first mammogram at 25. However, in my case, my grandmother had breast cancer in her early 30s. Apparently that doesn't matter to insurance companies, and I should just start at 40 with everybody else because my mother has not had, knock on wood, any positive screenings. But doesn't that seem a little weird because some family history isn't no family history and it's still early?
Yes, however, I have an opinion that differs from the masses that I shall not be talking about, so I'm gonna sit this one
I
out.
just can't help but think that if I
I
asked my
know.
physician, should I start mammograms early, that she would say yes. But insurance company has run some type of statistical analysis and decided that it's more cost effective for them to say, nah, you just start with everybody else. I don't necessarily think that that means that I should start with everybody else.
Right.
I learned that the loophole is that I can pretend that I found a lump and then she'll justify it.
Oh God. Well, the whole insurance thing is a whole other topic. Too many qualms to cover. Don't be Luigi, but I don't like it.
Yeah, no. So, okay. So they set the rules, and then, which leads me to my next thing, which I told her, which was, they're just a lump. It's just one lump made up of numerous other lumps. And she's like, well, yeah, it was just if anything feels any different. I'm like, it feels different every fucking day, and it depends where I am in my cycle. I don't understand what we're saying. But then at
I
that
agree
point,
with you.
we were teetering on specialized visit territory, so I decided to leave it alone. Last but not least, this is not related to my visit, but I need someone somewhere to explain to me what man is going into this specialty field.
And I'm so sorry to the people who have a man OBGYN, but what women are agreeing to see a man?
I'm not sorry. Explain it to me and tell me why. Like, make me feel wrong because it's obscene. I find it disgusting. I don't know how in the fuck you're gonna look at vagines all day. That's what you signed up for. And don't, I wanted to deliver babies. Absolutely not. Everybody knows that you're going to be elbows deep in STD screens and peeping at people's hole. That's what you're doing the majority of your time. Who signed up for that? Back in the olden days when there were just old dudes and there weren't a lot of women in medicine, fine. If you're,
Still
I
weird.
don't know, 50 plus, maybe you were just a necessity and there was nobody else to do it. But I'm having a hard time because I haven't seen a single fucking man in the mother baby unit of the hospital anytime I've been there.
Which is
What
good.
are we doing?
Sorry.
What are we doing? Were you just shitty in med school so that you weren't able to do like cardiology or neurology, podiatry, but you still had to specialize in something? And what do you do when you go on a date and a lady tells you, oh, I'm a physician? And she's like, oh, that's so cool. And then do you tell her, at what point in the date do you say, I'm a physician, a women's health physician? I deliver baby. She knows exactly what that means because if she's healthy, she's had numerous of these stargazing appointments. Why?
I don't know, and I don't like it. I will
I
never.
don't either. There's a male in the practice that I go to, and let me tell you what, if I somehow get whoopsie pregnant and then I have to go deliver a baby and my doctor is not available and a man walks in, I will walk out of the hospital and bare ass drop a baby in the parking lot of a Popeyes before a man delivers a baby and then gives me recommendations on how to heal. Can you imagine sitting there with my personality and having some dude tell me to push harder?
No.
The only way that would be acceptable is if it were my husband and he would get a pass since he like will have to deal with my hormones later. But I just can't.
A lot of thoughts.
That's all I have.
I like it. I like it and I don't like it. No offense to the doctors out there, but your hospital system is completely boo-boo with the waiting and the 7 minutes and the specialized billing. I hate it all. And I hate those appointments and everything's sus. That's where I'll leave my reaction.
It is. Everything is suspect. Basically, in honor of Women's Month, I just wanted to talk about my least favorite part of being a lady and say that men, if you're dating a woman, you need to know when she has these appointments so that you can buy her a treat. And if you're a woman dating a woman, you already know about these appointments, so you already know that you need to buy her a treat. And if you're a woman just with yourself, then go buy yourself a treat because at the end of the day, it's a necessary evil. We have to get our ticking time bombs checked. The system within we're able to do that is kind of a butthole. But to have gratitude, I am thankful that I at least have insurance and I didn't have to pay for all of this bullshit out of pocket. And maybe if we all get comfortable talking about it and griping about it enough, something will change. So happy Ladies Month.
Happy Ladies
Happy
Month.
Label Month.
Labias. Musculus. What's the word? Thrushel. Gristle.
Your Bissell
Bissell.
threads. Next time you stick to something, I just want you to think about that. Until next week, thank you for listening, and I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.